Good afternoon, noon, breakfast, lunch and dinner. We talked about sleep yesterday and obesity, and I thought, why don't we break it down a little bit more and just go into sleep and maybe some explanations and definitions on what sleep is, why it's important, and some things that you could do to actually help improve it, because I thought I told you a lot of the problems, but maybe I didn't give you enough solutions. So sleep is categorized into two things: rapid eye movement sleep and non-rapid eye movement sleep, which is REM and NREM. And then you've also got awake, which is what we're doing right now, hopefully. If you're watching this while you're asleep, that's amazing. Let me know, hit me in the DMs, you must be a shaman. When you talk about non-REM, there's 4 stages to it. And that's probably all you really need to know. Like if you get deeper than that, then you can read a book. It's called Why We Sleep. I'll just put a picture here of what it is. And it's a great book to read. It gives you really some good insights. And it's written in pretty much easy, digestible words that aren't too technical and too buzzwordy as well. Those are 2 types of different sleep. How much you need really depends on how old you are. The younger you are, usually the more, especially if you're growing. So like your teenage son, daughter, if you're a teenager, you need more sleep than if, say, you're me in your early 20s. No, I'm not in my 20s, but say like that. The amount of sleep really is dictated by the part of your life that you're in. As you know, like babies need a lot of sleep because there's a lot of growing going on. There's a lot of stress on the body to actually replicate itself and build itself. That comes on to something else though. That goes to recovery. So recovery with training is super important, especially if you're into exercise or if you love training hard. You need the balance of the rest and digest. So the fight or flight is the stress. The rest and digest is the other part, which is what you should be doing when you're sleeping and when you're actually letting your body recover or replenish and rebuild itself. And that brings me on to a point. If you don't have enough protein, muscle repair or protein synthesis is not going to be that doable. So especially for you females, try and make sure you've got some protein in your diet. I think I've been harping on to a few of you ladies lately about that and the benefits and the whys you need to, but also it helps with satiety and fullness. Now, I'm not saying you're going to become a bodybuilder out of it, but I think it might be quite useful just to prioritize that. Even if after your workout you have a protein shake, if that's convenient, or something that contains protein, it can be vegan, it can be whey, it doesn't really matter, but it's something that's easy enough for you to get into your system so that you're not sort of neglecting that. It will help you with recovery. But onto your sleep cycle, there's a thing called circadian rhythm. And the circadian rhythm is like your body's internal clock that sort of tells you where it is in the day, which is why when you travel, those time zone things really mess you up. Like one way it's not too bad, but then the other way it's pretty bad because you end up being totally out of whack in terms of your sleep cycle. Now there's things like this blue light here that can help with that, or you can just get outside, expose yourself to some sunlight, especially in the morning, and this sort of allows your body to register, oh, okay, it's the morning, now I've got like a 16-hour cycle to it's bedtime, and that helps. But what can happen is if you're sort of stimulating yourself, we talked about caffeine yesterday, if you're stimulating yourself at the wrong times of the day, you're sort of telling your brain and your body that actually right now, I need you to be on when actually you should be winding down. And if you've ever gone tramping or you've gone to a place where there's no cell coverage, so you're not using your phone and you're relaxed, you will realize how quickly you want to go to bed because your body's naturally wanting to match what's outside. The sun, when it goes down, nighttime, go to sleep, wake up in the morning when the sun comes up. And that's pretty much a quick download of it. The last thing I would say is that if you struggle to get up in the morning, look at what time you're going to bed. And if you find that you're going to bed at the same time and waking up at the same time and you don't really need an alarm or you're not snoozing a lot, you're probably getting an adequate amount of sleep. If you're waking up at like 3 a.m. with a busy brain, or you're waking up at like 7 after 7 like snooze of the alarm, there could be something you could be working on with your sleep cycle, and that could just be going to bed a little bit earlier or reducing those stimulants like your screen time, your caffeine, even the chocolate amount before you go to bed, just to help with getting your body into the right place before it needs to go to sleep. I hope you learned something. I hope that helps. Namaste.